Welcome everyone to Pack Talks with VJCB. Today we have someone who has truly followed their passion, bringing their mother's dream into reality, bringing Uppada onto the global stage, and talking about why sari is the fabric of freedom. Let's welcome Ramya Rao, the co-founder of Kalaneca.
Sure. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you for having me on board to share my thoughts on Kalaneca and its journey. So I think first things first is because I come from a defense background. My dad was with the Indian Navy. We were traveling across the whole country. But it's only later as he retired and he came to this place called Kakinada in Andhra, where I actually pursued my engineering. We also saw that our mother used to go to this village called Uppada, which is right beside Kakinada, sit with the weavers and bring forth their designs out to share it with everyone around. But the typical route that we took was do your engineering, focus on your job. And after my engineering, I started working with HCL Technologies in Noida. And I think I'm really grateful for that beginning because that foundation has been extremely a big reason for me and my sister to follow our passion. And we worked with HCL for about 2 years, after which I moved to Bangalore to become a news anchor and a business reporter with a media channel. And after which I realized that I wanted to come to Bombay because this is where we were brought up for a while as well, and come to Bombay and do something different. Probably focus on doing more trainings because I was part of the learning and development team in HCL. Did that for 2 years. Then I joined Reliance Industries, and I think that's another big pivotal moment where I experienced leadership, where I experienced people management. And I also saw how big corporates work from scale and size. And it's always good to be working with something as big as Reliance. But I think as we were doing this in 2014, my sister and I saw that I think it's good to bring back mom's dream. You can only take those many saris and take it out. But how about we create a channel where we can actually take Uppada to the world? So in short, our journey has been diverse. Our journey has been mixed. But there's been one common thread across. It's to always do what you're passionate about, be it in corporate, be it as anchor, and now being as an entrepreneur. My parents are in Kakinada. I have a twin sister who's also the co-founder of Kalaneca. And I am married, and I also have a lovely 2-year-old daughter. So that's in short about me and my personal life.
Yeah, it is amazing to hear someone talk about the passion that they have followed. And recently, I was talking to someone, and then they similar story wherein they said that you follow the passion and put your discipline around that, and then make it into a business, then it really gives you returns. And I think that Kalaneca is on a similar pathway. So 10 years journey, Ramya, from 2014 until now, and if I read the articles and go through the old videos and the interviews and whatever you have done with Kalaneca, which is there on the public platform, I can see that the first 4 years you are just finding in terms of where to place yourself in terms of Kalaneca. And from 2018 onwards, you actually started really taking off. And in the last 1 or 2 years, I can see that there is a lot of activities going around that. Can you take us through the time period of 2014 to 2018, why you wanted to do something like this? You talked about your mom's dream and things like that, but still, for two sisters to who have been doing really good in their corporate world, why you wanted to follow something like a side stint? Take us through that.
Sure, Vijay. So 2014, I'm pursuing my career in Reliance Industries. My sister is pursuing her career as a corporate anchor, and she's doing phenomenally well. And I think that's when we observed that mom's passion of sarees was still continuing, but you can only do so much by taking it from Uppada and doing it at a small level. We realized two things for sure as we reached 2014 is there is a lot of scope in this area, number one. Two, we in fact started much before this whole word of D2C, internet, Instagram, and all of this was formed. Yes, we are also an Instagram first company, but it was not so big back then. We realized that one of the ways to make this Uppada more famous and popular is by going digital. So we told our mom that you focus on the weaves, we'll focus on the marketing. And that's where we actually opened a page. In fact, when we started off, it was a blog spot. And then slowly we opened a page. Why we did that is I think even as we were doing very well in corporate, we found a common purpose. I think somewhere when you go back to your roots, it gives you your purpose to do something different. Uppada as a village is tiny, but with close to 1,500 amazing weavers, they're weaving something very beautiful which the world is not aware of. And that's the space that we saw. It somehow felt like it's our responsibility, or probably God has brought us on earth to give this purpose that Ramya and Kavya will take this story forward. So since nobody tapped on Uppada very well, we said, let's do this. Also because it's closer to roots. So 2014, we just started as a hobby. We used to model, and when we used to put up photos, we used to cut our head just because we didn't know anything, just chop the head on the photo and pose. But we started getting orders one by one as we put on Instagram. We were doing quite well. We genuinely don't come from a business background. We didn't know the marketing aspects and all. We were doing it. Somebody gets an Uppada sari, we're happy. You get an Uppada sari, we're happy. So we never focus on numbers and all, but we just focus on let's do as much as we can. 2014, 15, 16, cut to 18, we realized the scope is great and scale is possible. And if we go small, then even the story will go small. So 2018, we formed the company, and Kalaneca stemmed from Kala, art, and Nika is the marriage word from Urdu, marriage of art forms. Why? Because Kavya and I are both classical dancers. So somewhere or the other, the word Kala has to be there. Our life is incomplete without art forms. And that's why we said, let's do Kalaneca. And when we incorporated that as such, we said, okay, now there are bigger possibilities as you form a company. So by 2018, we really saw that there was potential, and people started also understanding that this is how the fabric is. And I think I definitely take the credit for Kalaneca that we were one of those very, very few people who educated people about Uppada and popularized Uppada as a village and the sarees that come from there.
Awesome, Ramya. It is great to see someone actually taking the effort to bring a small village in India on to the global platform. So, tell us about in terms of when you work with weavers, because uh, I have interacted with few of them in terms of doing a few research articles and stuff like that. I understand that they look at that the loom, and they are happy with the sound that which comes out of that, and they are just focused on that. They are not looking at what's happening outside the world. They don't know about marketing. They don't talk about much of the technology. They don't even talk about the designs. They keep weaving what they think that this is been traditionally followed, and then they keep doing that. So how have you and you two and your mother, how have you enriched their lives in terms of one, in terms of making newer designs, and whether there is a new technology or something that you have inculcated into them. Second, in terms of the overall livelihood and the overall lifestyle for them, has that changed over the last 10 years?
Absolutely, and I love this question. I think this is directly about the viewers. I love this question. So first things first, I think you're absolutely right about one thing. They really don't care social media, paparazzi, and all. They love their loom. They will sit on their loom. In fact, we have one of the oldest artisans is 80 years old, and he is just happy that he's weaving. Not, to think that you derive happiness out of doing the same thing again and again, the same music again and again, yet create a different design. I think that's passionate at a very different level. So what we did differently is because we come with an exposure of the kind of urban culture. We bring in that exposure. We realized your Uppada sarees are typically very traditional sarees. So we felt let's bring in our modern sensibilities in two ways. One is the design of the sari, and one is the styling. So what you see me do right now today is a cowl style drape. So Kava and I drape sarees very differently to talk about the 6 yards of fabric as well. And we also wear an Uppada sari differently so that people look at it differently. So when I talk about design point of view, I think it began with Kavya's wedding in 2019, where she said she wanted a Raja Rani kind of design of Jamdani on her pallu. Uppada had never done something like this before. They are very, very popular for floral motifs, lotuses, peacocks, and floral motifs. So we created a Raja Rani design. So the weaver is now sitting and thinking, okay, how do I do this? This is a challenge. Cut to recently, and I think I would like to bring this out. We hopefully will come out with a video soon on this. We created a sari called the Queen's Gambit. That's our signature statement sari, which is not yet released. And we will be shooting that soon. And we are excited for the world to see. I think you can kind of guess when I say what the Queen's Gambit is. So I remember our artist in Shiva Garu, who's, by the way, BSc Chemistry gold medalist. but he's passionate about weaving. And he himself told this to me that, Ramya Garu, it's so nice. I get to do something different. So it's challenging me as well how to do this design differently. And so it's also making me upskill myself. So Kavya and I think, brought in designs which Uppada had never seen in the world. And they had to literally tell themselves, how do we do this? So that's one way of upskilling them through designs. The second is, we also had some of our artisans who could celebrate their children's, let's say functions and all in a very, very grand way by offering lunch to the entire village, by doing a lot more just because of, us empowering them. And that's what one of the artisans' mother came and told us, that, because of you, we could celebrate this. So somewhere I feel that, yes, have they built palatial houses and all yet? Not yet. But is that something that, are they materialistic in nature? Not really. But I think what they like is, they want the loom to continue. They don't want the loom to stop. Their happiness comes from there. Second, what they can provide to their children, which is where we come in picture. So yes, and I think third aspect, which I definitely take pride in, is we don't take the sarees and pay them 3, 4, 5 months later. We pay them upfront. It can hit our business model sometimes, and I'm not denying that, but it's a trade-off, because without them, we don't exist. So these are few things. I'm not saying we are the best, but we are doing few simple things to ensure that they upskill themselves and they're happy. If they smile, we smile.
I think this also brings into the corporate experience that you have been having in terms of when you look at the customer experience. Customer will have a great experience provided your employees and the people who work around with you are happy and they are smiling. So that's when they can put their best foot forward and make sure that the customer is really happy. So the small things in terms of not making them wait for their payment and being part of their small spirit celebrations in their life is something which will touch their hearts, and they will always be loyal and attached to Kalaneca for generations to come. So that's amazing to understand that.
Beautifully said.
Ramya, in terms of you said that there are around 1,500 viewers out in Uppada. So how many are on board with Kalaneca, and what are the plans with the viewers going forward?
So currently we have only about 70 viewers. One of the biggest reasons being that, with these 70 viewers, we're able to cater to the demand of the Uppada sarees that we get. Apart from that, of course, now we have moved into Bagru from Jaipur, getting even Jamdanis from Bengal on cotton, not silk, because we are very clear our silks will be Uppada. So currently, I have only about 70 weavers, but so far we're able to cater. Yes, do we want to onboard more weavers? The answer is yes, because if you're planning to scale higher and higher and bigger, we will need more weavers on board. And now, after so many years of being in this, it doesn't look difficult, because in fact, I have to share this story. We went recently to Uppada to finish some other set of designs, and we had two beautiful artisans reach out to us saying, "Hello, we have been trying to find you for 2 years." And I'm not making this up. They literally said that we were speaking Telugu, and he said, "We were searching you for 2 years." And we said, "Our number is on Instagram." He said, "Ma'am, we don't understand these things. So we were searching you for 2 years. We reached out to you. We went to them. It's a weavers' colony in one of the smaller places beside Uppada. They weave Uppada sarees, and now they are onboarded with us. And their turnaround time is phenomenal. So, like how we added these two, we'll be adding much more, so that there are newer colors, newer designs, and newer creations coming.
I think it's more like a plug and play model for you now in terms of, since you have seen that, and it's also the confidence that the viewers get from the success stories that they have seen around for the last 10 years. So that also gives them that confidence to get linked to Kalaneca. So now coming into the user end phase in terms of what we get to see Kalaneca on Instagram and website. Tell us about why the big K. Even if you decided that Kalaneca, why the big K? That's one. Second, in terms of um, where are you operating your base? Where is your base? Do you have a warehouse? Do you carry inventory, or do you keep the inventory in Uppada?
Sure. So first things first about the logo, and as you can see behind, the reason we did the K is Kalanika is not a common word. In fact, we've had so many people pronounce it as Kalancia. Hello, am I speaking to Ramya from Kalancia? And we were like, oh no, it's Kalanika. So we realized we are not a noun, right? It's not Ramya, or like how we have a Masaba, Sabyasachi. It's Kalaneca, and if somebody has to remember the whole name, it's like 4 syllable, something should stand out. So if you see our logo very carefully, it is actually woven threads. So it's a spool of threads, but maybe people might not instantly remember a 4 syllable word, but let them remember a K, because that's an easy recall. That's the reason we came up with a K. And sometimes we used to wonder, is the name too difficult? But then we realized there's a Versace, there's a Chanel, there's Isalor. So we all have taken time to understand those Italian and French names. So why not an Indian name? So yeah, that's one. So our inventory is in 2 places. Predominantly, our main, you can say the central distribution center, if you call that as a term, it is Mumbai. Everything happens from Mumbai. Your packaging, your how you package it, how you dispatch it. My major inventory is in Mumbai. We have a home studio in Powai. We hope to open a studio soon, but currently it's a home studio where we have our employees who come and work out of there. But yes, we do have some inventory and ongoing inventory happening in Uppada, and there's a reason. Especially when we get these requests from customers that they want their sarees very quickly. And if they're in Hyderabad, then the dispatch happens from Uppada. Because from Mumbai, if I send it, also it will reach in 1 to 2 days, but Uppada is right there. So I would rather have it sent from Uppada. And sometimes when customizations happen, and if for whatever reasons we have delayed and somebody needs it immediately, then we dispatch it from Uppada. So we kept that also as a center for inventory, but predominantly 95% happens from.
Awesome. And since you spoke about customizations, and if I understand correctly, that is one of your USPs in terms of sarees, because you have the off-the-shelf sarees which are there, but uh, you also like when people come to you for customizations, and you tend to go out of your way in terms of making sure that they get what they want. So tell us about that.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for capturing that beautifully, because that's exactly what we do. Customization is very close to my heart. I handle that vertical for one of the biggest reasons being that, when you own something that's so exclusive for you, it can never be made again. I think it gives a different sense of power. And it started with one request when I'm so glad this one client who reached out and said, I'm looking for an Uppada Jamdani, but I have a design on mind. Said, whoa, this is interesting. Let's do this. What started as a one, request, today we take multiple requests of customizations. So simple process. The client reaches out to us. That's the only way. Client by now understands that, okay, Kalaneca has a capability of creating great Uppada sarees. They reach out to us and they say, hi, we want a customized saree. And that's when I come on board. So I have a direct conversation with the customer. We don't leave this to the team. If it's customization, Ramya is on board, very clear, because I think that personal touch is important. So my conversations go in from days to weeks, depending on the intricacy of the design. What color do you want? What motif do you want? Where exactly do you want? Firstly, what's the occasion? Is it a wedding? Is it just for fun, or is it some other occasion? We have conversations and sometimes video calls as well. Once that's done, and this is a place where the customer co-creates the sari. So the power to co-create and have your own sari is beautiful. Once that's done, I sit with a weaver, either physically from an Uppada or on video call, and I say, this is the expectation. Let's start drawing it. I'm glad we have beautiful graph creators. So I don't know if we all know this, that when a sari is made, there is a graph, paper graph underneath, and the weaver has to exactly see that and match it. So a graph, first level graph is drawn, second level, then it goes back to the customer. And the customer says, I didn't like probably the size of the peacock, or I didn't like the size of the motif. Now this can go back and forth depending on the intricacy. Some customers are very chill, so they'll finish the design within a day. Some customers are very, very particular, and it can go to months. But then at the end of the day, it's a challenge that we have said yes to. So this happens back and forth. They freeze on the design, then the design goes, because once you're frozen on the design, then I'm not going to change it, because then I don't, when you're creating a graph, if even one change comes, I have to create the whole graph again. So that's why it's very important that it's not back and forth. Once that's done and it's gone to them, then we give an estimate of 30, 45, 60 days, depending on the design. The weaver weaves it, and as the weaver is weaving, we take videos, we take photos, we make them part of the process, because it's their sari, not in my sari. As they finish, then we do a beautiful packaging, we customize it and we send it, and we just wait for the feedback. And so far, touch with the feedback has been phenomenal. One of our recent customized sarees is 8 huge peacocks on the saree. It's something to be seen. I'll probably share the photos with you. It's, when the customer received, she said, "This is a dream saree, and I'm so proud that I own it." And guess what? We're not going to recreate. So it's yours, and it's only yours in the whole world. And I think this is fabulous.
Wow, it's like a patented sarees that people take out. Amazing. And when I look at your website, you have something called a CEO club sarees. So and tell us the thought behind that. Is it specific to tap into the CXO levels, or is it looking at the woman as a CEO in her all different walks of life?
Sure, I love this as well. And we when we were exploring about the names that you can give to our collections, we saw commonly people say office wear. And somehow I think when you say office wear, it kind of I don't know. I never found that powerful because office wear can be anything. But here's the deal. First thing is you and I, we are all CEOs of our own lives. Very clear. Second, all of us, aspire to reach that CXO level. But we observed one thing, at least in India and Indian CXOs, the ones who are CEOs, be it your Falguni Nayar of Nika, be it even your, State Bank of India ex-chairman, all of them, they all wear saris. We don't see many youngsters who wear those saris as office wear. So we said, you know what, we're going to call this a CEO club because you could be a junior executive in a company or you could be a CXO. The designation doesn't matter. You feel that you are the CEO of your life. You are the CEO of the job that you're doing. You are wearing a Kalaneca. So we realized that we wanted people to feel empowered when they wear Kalaneca. We said, this is a CEO club, not an office wear sari. It's a CEO club and welcome to the club.
Great, Ramya. And since you touched upon the younger age group, and when you typically look at sarees, your target segment is like 30 plus or 40 to 50 age group and things like that. But when you look at the Gen Z, and I heard you speaking about Gen Z in one of the interviews, and from there I picked it up, and I thought it would be interesting to bring that on here. And I also understand from one of your conversations that sari can be worn in 300 different ways, and that gives you that freedom and to pick and choose in terms of how you want to wear it. And it's gender neutral and things like that. Coming back to the Gen Z thing, that when you add accessories and elements to the saris, even the Gen Z can carry it in the way they want to do that. So tell us about that.
I think you brought up a good point. Our target audience has typically been that independent earning member who's 30 above, without any doubt. However, we also realize that Gen Zs are actually changing the narrative, if you see today. So if we don't get Gen Zs as our customers, then our scale and size will not grow faster. It will grow, but it won't be fast. And unfortunately or fortunately, today they call the shots as to who's a popular brand. That's one of the reasons. Second thing is, I love that Gen Zs have a voice and they are not scared to share it. So we realize that if we want the Gen Z guys to also like our saris, they'll not buy a 7,000-8,000 silk sari because they don't wear the sari for an occasion. They wear sari just to go out for a clubbing also or probably for a brunch. So our saris have to be slightly different. That's when our design changed, and then that's when we also got into cottons. But we have this tagline, and I think this is Kalaneca. We believe that a sari is the only garment that does not come with a S, M, L, XL tag. It does not come with a tag. Think about it. And that's why it's 6 years of freedom. So you might be a Gen Z, or you might now be even probably a Gen Alpha, a young kid wearing a sari differently, or an 80-year-old, 90-year-old wearing a sari. It comes with a no size tag. So you can wear it the way you want and express yourself. So we realized by tapping on Gen Z two ways, that is through styling of saris and through accessories, which is our Kala jewels, which is one of a kind. We felt that they would love to experiment. They would love to be part of this narrative at Kalaneca as well. And yes, very honestly, if I don't get a Gen Z on board, people won't know me. Today, they are the ones who are calling the shots. It's important. That's a very big target audience to have on board. And now our agenda is more towards customer acquisition in the Gen Z space.
Uh, that's really nice to understand in terms of how you look at the different generations and how you tap into that, and in terms of catering to their needs, and being there for if in case they want to pick up a sari and do something different. Kalaneca is there to do that. What is the technology that you are using in terms of your website, and also in terms of reaching out to your customers and all? Is it only through Instagram and website, or is it something else that you are also using?
Sure. So currently we are very heavy on our Instagram. Major what do you call your sales happen through Instagram, and then they come to our website. Now we have a home studio, so people who are in Bombay who take an appointment, they come over and shop and go. But 90% of our sales happens because of Instagram and hence website. Yes, we have AI Martech onto a tool on board as well. The company came on board just recently, so that our retention process is much seamless. And we realized we were not doing a great job in retaining our customers. Our new customer acquisition is quite good, but retaining the old customers is not. It's still there is a lot of room for improvement, and that's why we got this Martech company on board, and we're going to be experimenting to see how our old customers are also again buying Kalaneca. Also, because with Kalaneca, what happens with the silk sari, you don't need it every month. And neither you need it like, I need 10, 20 in a year. You want it for an occasion. So that is a good and not so good thing for a business point of view. I do need people to buy and buy again, which means I also move into different fabrics. Like summer is approaching here in India, and cotton is the only way. So that's when we move into cotton as well. And so that we can have more customers. But today, our focus is on customer retention. Customer acquisition is going on great, new customer acquisition. So we have this AI Martech tool on board. That's a little technology we're using to ensure that we are always connected.
Awesome. And when you talk about technology, there is a lot of artificial intelligence and talk happening around that. So, has any customer come to you saying of with the customization, and he or she using AI to generate something, and asked in terms of can we replicate that into the sari?
Yeah, I think that's beautiful that you brought that out. In fact, yes, there are quite a few who have created their own designs using AI, and they said, hey, we want this. On the other hand, I think some of my ISB, I'm studying for ISB, and some of my ISB classmates were brilliant and bright. Some of them came up with phenomenal ideas of how we at Kalanika can leverage on AI to actually create an app and, have customizations so that the power of the customization is actually on the customer. So that is our next plan as well, because of which we also now need investments. We believe that investments is something that will help us propel for the technological part. Because if I want to start an app, if I want AI on board, I will need heavy investments. But this is a plan maybe 1 year down the line. For now, customers do use AI and come up with their own designs and share with us. And they also say it blatantly, we have not sketched this from AI, which is fine. I think we at Kalanika understand one thing. Looms can never be replaced. You want a handmade sari, you can't use AI for it. You will use machine-made sari, but machine-made and handmade are two different. And if you want a handmade sari, the loom will never get replaced. What we can use AI is for, I think, customizations like this, for marketing, for optimization, and for reaching out to customers. That's where AI will enable us as well. So yes, we will need it, and we are getting there.
Going back to the sari designs and things like that. So whoever is listening to the episode definitely will look up at Kalaneca and see in terms of what is there. And typically, as a customer, if whoever gets on a website, and for a brand which is just an upcoming brand, I would not say an unknown brand, it's like an upcoming brand or a startup brand, they would always try to see what experience that they can get at the lowest point. So they will try to buy the one which is like a lower segment, and then they will see whatever they say is it what is actually happening, and then they get that confidence and they come back and start buying products which are the higher category. So for a person who wants to come and buy anything from Kalaneca, what is the price range that you're starting in terms of sarees?
Sure. So our silk sarees, which are all handmade from Uppada, start at 5,800. And our cotton sarees, which are our own creations, handmade again, plain cottons, absolute plain cotton, is at 1,900. And cottons with our own signature block prints, which are absolutely gorgeous, are at 3,850 onwards. So we have a cotton starting at 1900, but silks begin at 5,800 and then they go up.
Oh, great. And when you talk about cotton, it is not made at the Uppada, if I understand correctly.
It's not. It's not. In fact, yeah, I think that's. I'm glad you brought that up. Uppada actually began with cotton. They
Oh,
were very well known. Uppada is actually known for cotton. This is many, many years back. But soon the weavers realized that, while they use the word wages, and I don't like it, but the wages for making a cotton sari and what you get in return is very low. So same thing, they prefer making it in silk instead because then what they receive is higher. So unfortunately in Uppada, cotton has completely washed out and it's not there anymore. Maybe one or two weavers make it. But actually, Uppada was cotton. My mom's first sari from Uppada was a cotton sari.
and when it's good that you brought that up, because when I was researching about Kalaneca, one of the first videos I think you have done, you, your sister, and your mom, in which your mom is speaking in Telugu, and wherein she actually spoke about that British guy and the cotton which was there in Godavari and things like that. So it's, yeah, it's nice to understand the history behind that actually.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you watched that video. And yes, that's absolutely true.
Awesome. Bringing back Kalanika, and you spoke about the marriage of art, and why the reason behind the art is in terms of your inclination, or in terms of your major hobby being your dance, typically classical dance. So first we'll talk about classical dance, and then I know that you are into something else also, so we'll talk about that as well. From when you started learning dance, were you both the sisters learning that together? And what is the influence that the classical dance form has got in Kalanika saris?
Beautiful. So yes, Kavya and I both were put into classical dancing. First Bharatanatyam at the age of 3. Uh, and my mother actually, she's the one who observed that we loved rhythm, and we should just start dancing. And somebody plays even bhajantri in weddings, they would play and we just start jumping. So she felt, acha, maybe they like it. Let me put them. Because we were in Bombay and then Cochin as well. It was Bharatanatyam that started. Then we moved to Vijayawada in Andhra. That's when we took up Kuchipudi. Somewhere I felt that because also we grew by seventh standard and all, your understanding for dance in a different way. We did our diploma in Kuchipudi. We realized dance is self-expression. There is nothing right or wrong. You're expressing. Of course, your technicalities are important, but then you're expressing from your heart. And it's so beautiful that somehow, even after during engineering, when we were not dancing, we would still bring dance somewhere or the other. And while you all see fusion today, back in our engineering 2001, 2002, we used to take Western music and actually do classical dancing. Of course, there's no social media there, so we never put it out there. But that was, I think the influence of classical dancing on us is so high that it literally comes on sarees. One of my sarees that I made for my sister's wedding, when we did the Raja Rani for her, on my sari, which was a pink and green, on the pallu, I gave my weaver my photo of this mudra. So this is my mudra, and there's this photo of me in my seventh or eighth. I said, "This is my photo, and I want you to replicate that in your weaving," and that's my pallu. So I think no matter what, we will not leave dance. And I think my tattoo also says, "I dance, therefore I am." So somewhere or the other, it's part of our identity. And whether you're dancing continuously or not is not a thing. But whenever you think from expression point of view. So yeah, that's there.
Great. And talking about the engineering days, I clearly remember in terms of the dances during that time. Though now with the Instagram reels and everything, people know what's happening. But during those times, the fusion was the big time in terms of mixing your dance forms and doing that. And currently, we are looking at doing our 25th alumni of engineering, and we are looking at the videos back then, and I can completely resonate in terms of what you're saying. So it's amazing. Ramya, in terms of you spoke about classical dance forms of Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi, and in the recent years, you have picked up belly dancing, and you are a big uh, spokesperson for for that. If I can put that way, because in India, if you look at that, people don't look at belly dancing as the dance with the nuance into that. And they look at from a different angle to that. But you have been talking about belly dancing, and so tell us about that. And will we see something similar to that in the Kalaneca designs coming up?
Yeah, thank you. So belly dancing happened by chance. One of my friends was teaching, and she said, "Hey, Ramya, come for the class." And I never thought, because you'll not think of belly dancing. This was way back in 2009 or 10. And I just attended a class, and I managed to pick some steps well. Again, foundation is classical dancing. And then I started teaching. Of course, I should be honest that I started teaching without a certification, if I look back now. But then I realized leave teaching, learn that very well. And I have a decade long experience of learning and, of course, performing belly dance. And I must say, it's one of the most graceful dances. And I am blessed to have had teachers who understood that fusion is not confusion, who believe that you can be a great belly dancer, you can fuse that in classical as well, and keep the sanctity of both. Nowadays, we see people mixing both, and you will neither see this, neither see that. But I was taught by people like, my all time favorite has to be Meher Malik, who actually is one of the most pivotal persons who brought belly dance to India. She came from Middle East and brought in, and I think she's the one who brought revolutionized. She and her students, who include Akriti, Damini, all of them, these people who taught me, Sanjana here in Bombay, who taught me, they all shaped my belly dancing, form of my expression as well. And if I see, both are very similar. It's a classical dance form for somebody else. And the reason why I talk very openly about it is it's so beautiful, it's so graceful, it's misunderstood because people don't want to understand. That's it. It's as simple as that. And I think there were not many avenues. Now I think we have opened up. We look at belly dance also as a cultural form. And I think just like a sari, dance also is freedom of expression, and there is no right or wrong interpretation. Yes, your technicalities have to be right. If there is a maya, there's a drop, there's a isolation, it has to be right, but it has to be interpreted in your own way. So you're the artist here, and you're weaving your movements when you dance. So yes, belly dancing happened for a decade, then my baby happened, and I think it's been good 2 years that I've not belly danced per se. But I also believe that dance is something that you can never let go. So I said, let's give it some time. I'm doing my ISB, I'm doing Kalaneca. This year, after this year, I'll again get back to dancing. Whether I will learn or not, but I'll definitely perform. And yeah, once a dancer, always a dancer.
That's great. And it's amazing in terms of when you look at the brand name and then you say that it's a marriage of art, and it is not just put it for the namesake. You are actually connected to a lot of art forms, and you're trying to bring the best of that in terms of, like, it's like a benchmarking that you're doing with the art and the weaving stories. So talking about stories, I'm sure that the weavers back in Uppada, going back to that when where we started the conversation, I'm sure that there will be a lot of amazing stories which would have happened in the last 10 years. Is there anything that is in the back of your mind in terms of the journey that you would have seen in terms of weavers' life transition, which would have happened?
Sure. I think if I share one, which would be where they are more than happy to create something so different in new colors. And I think one of the biggest transformation I've seen in them is um, they feel empowered being a weaver. You know, weavers typically are not empowered because they are given a sari to make. They will make it, that's it, and you might not get an order. But I think the weavers we have worked with, they feel empowered, they feel they're part of the Kalanika growth story as well. So that I think is very very fulfilling. I think another fun story is where when Kavya and I, because we come with modern sensibilities, and we do different styling and enter Uppada village, the entire village goes wondering, what did they do with our sarees? So it's fun to see them react to us. And whenever we go to these, we call it Penkutillu in Telugu, small huts and small houses. In that small house, one entire room is dedicated to the loom. So it's dingy, it's dark, and yet an entire family is flourishing in that. So whenever we come with our, for photo shoot, the entire village sums up, and they're like, ah, these two sisters have come again. But I think it's fun because they are now enjoying it, and they feel they're part of this growth story, and they also feel that these two sisters are not coming for themselves, they're coming for us. And I think that shift has taken us 10 years. See, first year it would have been like, acha, these two want to do something. It's for themselves. They want the name. But in 10 years, they realize, no, it was never about them. They are doing all the styling because that's them, but it's about us. So I feel that shift has been remarkable.
Great. And I think this is where I think I listened to one of your conversations wherein you said in terms of what they tell you in terms of if I don't know if I get my Telugu correct, Ammagaru Chala Bhavandi. So I think that's where you can be happy in terms of when you hear that, and in terms of a proud moment, I would say in terms of when you look back at the journey.
Absolutely. In fact, our viewers, some of them are 10 years younger to me, but we never address them by name. There will always be a Garu. In Telugu, Garu comes with respect. Now, they of course will say Ramya Garu, Kavya Garu, also because we are older to them now. But I have an artisan who's 25, much younger to me. But I will still call him with a name and a Garu. And I think that respect comes from within because of what they do. It's not age that commands a respect. It's what you do. And they feel that because they're like, why are you calling us Garu and all as well in Telugu? But they're like, boss, you don't demand, you command us. That's so we do that.
Great. So Ramya, tell us what is the plan for the next 4 5 months? So now, since you're doing your course at ISB, bringing the business acumen, or I would say enhancing your business acumen, and then trying to bring back your lessons back into the storyboard. So tell us what's the plan for the next 4 5 months.
Sure, Vijay. So first thing is through ISB at least, some things were streamlined at Kalaneca, be it your financial reporting, be it the marketing aspects, and that's the elective that I'm taking because I really wanted to understand branding a little more and marketing a little more. So definitely all the learnings, but I think also the kind of alumni that is associated with ISB is brilliant. And my idea is to tap onto that alumni as well soon. So next 4 5 months, it's to tap on the alumni, tap on the network. But another big plan for Kalaneca is because summer is already here in India. Silks will continue. That's our main specialty and that's our main USP. But we will be doing more of cottons. We got heavy requests from men to create kurtas and shirts for them. And believe me or not, there's a request pending from 8 years. So I think our big learning at Kalaneca is to do things fast. But I think somewhere we were stubborn that nahi, hum nahi karenge, but we realized we were doing good job in block prints. So our next plan is to get into shirts, menswear, so that they are also part of the Kalaneca story. It's not just the women. Second is we have our signature event called Sarees and Sangriyas. It's our own event which we created. The third edition finished recently in Hyderabad. And now suddenly people want to be part of it because it's aspirational, it's beautiful, it's a place where you can connect, and it's a place where now going forward, we want to bring multiple single brands. So if I'm a sari brand, I'll bring a jewelry brand, a skincare brand, 4 to 5 brands, get people from different walks of life, come over. We are focusing on community building and, to grow as a community, network with one another, connect with one another and have conversations. So we're planning to drive saris and sangriyas across various cities in India and hopefully maybe international as well.
Oh, amazing. We will be happy to help you to do something in Ireland or in Europe or even in US. And good that you brought about the saris and sangrias, which I wanted to talk about. So when you look at normally brands, when you look at say for yourself, your Kalanika, your small sari brand, because sari world is the market is huge, and you are one of us.
80,000 crore company, 80,000 crore is the market that we're expecting by 2027. So
Yes,
it's massive.
a
You're right.
massive market, and you're a very small player in that, and still you are doing something called saris and sangrias, wherein you are opening the platform and saying that fellow brands come on board, and let's walk this path together. So why that thought?
Hmm. Actually, the original idea of saris and sangriyas was to do it solo. It is only recently we tied up with, we are getting mentored by VHub, the government of Telangana initiative, and it's through ISB that I could actually connect with them, thankfully. And when we we're talking about saris and sangriyas in Hyderabad, I reached out to the team at VHub and they said, hey, there's also another brand who loved your idea and they are saying they'll also partner in. So, in all honesty, it was not our idea to have a new brand on board. And only then we realized, yeah, you want to do things, you want to go far, you've got to collaborate, you've got to do things together. So, this is more of an idea from VHub, and glad we could open our mind to thinking that collaboration with other brands is so good because see, you have a sari, you have a jewelry, you have skincare, you have juttis, shoes. It's all in one. So why can't I have all of that under one roof? So because in Hyderabad we did it with another brand, and it was great. It went very well, and I think another good thing that happens is your expenses get divided. Then your crowd comes to them, their crowd comes to you. So all in all, it's a win-win for all the brands. So after Hyderabad, we realized we want to scale this to a bigger level, and the possibility of this is high. And somehow, every time I say saris and sangriyas, people's eyes just lit up, saying, "Whoa, this is interesting. What is it?" So we said, "Okay, let's go. Let's do this."
You recently took part in Kalagoda, the one of the prestigious events. Tell us about that experience at Kalagoda.
Absolutely. That's, I think, the one of the biggest highlights for the start of 2024. I think when we got selected in December last year, Kavya and I were jumping. If somebody would put a CCTV, they would have seen two kids. There's a reason because we have watched Kala Ghoda from so many years. It's been the 25th year was this year, in fact. And we did apply 5 years back. And then I think we just applied time pass, and of course we didn't get selected. This year, I think everything was in our favor, and we applied. And when we got selected, I think it was a miracle we needed because somewhere we were doubting ourselves that are we doing right? Is it worth it to pursue this? Kala Ghoda, the beauty of it is the location. It's near Church Gate in Mumbai. So, which means your kind of crowd that comes to Kala Ghoda, while it's mix of Bombay, is also predominantly that part of Bombay that has a higher spending power and higher artistic inclination. And Kala Ghoda as a event itself is very artistic. So, of course, because this is the first time, we just took a half a stall. But yeah, we did phenomenally well, so well that it was morning 11 to night 11, and I don't think we were tired even by being there and trying to talk about Uppada. We had so many people who came and so many who didn't know of us. So again, you see new customer acquisition, and of course, some of our friends who said, we want to support Kalaneca, so we're coming and shopping from you. But the new customers got to know of Uppada. We actually put up our viewers' photos to tell them that, boss, we are not the face alone. It's these people. And no brand does that. No brand reveals their viewers' faces. And we believe that you have to. And in fact, we were talking, who's this? Who is this? We are telling their names as well. And it's okay. If you finally go to Uppada and buy from them, we're okay. Absolutely okay. We are not insecure. But we feel their names and their faces deserve that. So we did that at Kala Goda. We sold so many sarees, and I think we acquired so many new customers. We made we we anticipated something, and we made good 5 times of it. So you can imagine the kind of people who came, and people came back on the last day to again shop from us. One of the things that we didn't do right was we only booked it for 5 days because it was the first time. So people came back the sixth and seventh day, Are Kalani ka kahan hai? And I think somewhere we felt that it's okay. Next year, we'll go full blazing guns of 9 days, take the entire stall, and now we'll do shirts as well. So we'll go full on next year. But this experience was a miracle, was gratifying, was fulfilling, and I think it was an answer we needed that we are doing something right.
Somewhere you mentioned the importance of the Sobo crowd, and yes, if you look at art forms as well as in terms of your fashion, South Mumbai actually is a launch pad for anyone to go, even national or international. It's a great launch pad in terms of doing that.
It is.
And
In fact, we were told, sorry, but we were told Chumbak, there's this brand called Chumbak. They make the most quirky and beautiful things. We were told by the Kala Ghoda authorities that Chumbak started in Kala Ghoda. So, they actually told us, Chumbak also started in Kala Ghoda. Next, we should probably see Kalanika scale that way. So you're right. The Sobo crowd is beautiful for two reasons. It's not just the purchasing power, but their inclination towards understanding what is handmade and all is great. And somewhere we could tap into that crowd finally.
other point that you mentioned in terms of putting the viewer's face in your stall, definitely in the last 10 years time, there would have been occasions wherein customers would have tried to bypass you and gone straight to the viewer, saying that, okay, I might save, say, 500 rupees or 1000 rupees if I get it directly done by them. So what was the reaction of the viewer saying that, okay, whether they said, okay, let us try this, or they said that, no, we don't want to do that. We will stick to Kalanika because they are the one who helped us, and they will give us the repeat orders comes from them. So what was the reason for that? Yeah.
So, if I see honestly, none of my customers went. Some of my friends, of course, would go to Kakinada, to Uppada, but then I myself would tell them, please go to my viewers and buy. So at the end, my weaver's only benefiting, and we would call the weavers beforehand that so and so is coming. So ensure that you give a beautiful sari at a good price to them, and it's okay. Because I'll be honest with you, Vijay, you'll go only once to Uppada. You're not going to Uppada again and again. We know that. Once you bought a sari, you bought one sari, you bought five saris. For the sixth sari, you'll come back to Kalaneca. So it's a win-win for me because my weaver is benefiting. Hi, you go to somebody else and buy, then of course I'll be like, this is bypassing. But if you bypass me to go to my weaver, then you're not bypassing. You again come back to me. So it's fine.
I'm really happy to see the confidence in terms of this is another way of customer acquisition, saying that you go and meet my vendor and then you come back to me on the long run. Tell us about in terms of when you talk about again going back to the saris and this thing and Kalagoda. Are you looking to go international this year in any of the events? Any plans for that?
We do have, in fact, that's a good reminder. We have a form that we have to close after the call. I'll work on that. So thank you. Yes, we do have plans to go international, and we should. This is a very good time to go international because world is looking at India, and the potential is in India. The world is looking at what India is doing and made in India. So this year, hopefully, towards the end of the year, we have plans to do some international events, which will be closing on in a few months from now. And yes, we want to take Uppada sarees to the world. We want to take more of our creations to the world and let people know of Kalaneca as well, so that eventually they become our online customers. This year, do we have a plan? Definitely 1 to 2 events, not more. 1 to 2 events international is definitely in pipeline. I'm going to Singapore tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I I have conversations with the right people to take saris and sangyas maybe in Singapore. Saris, sangyas, Singapore. Sounds great, right?
Plus, uh, great. And tell us about the number of international locations your saris are already reached and customers are wearing that.
I have one customer in Ireland as well, in Dublin, by the
Oh,
way. Only
awesome.
one, but it's okay. Slowly it'll come to two, three. But we pay our 80% of our international audience comes from US. Definitely. US is our main market, no two doubts about it. Then rest would be, Ireland. Then we have Singapore, one or two. Australia, definitely Australia. And very less from UK and a little more in Canada. We ship worldwide. We ship anyway. It could be probably in Timbuktu. We'll ship it there. There's an opportunity. But US is my main market from an international point of view for the best reasons. Lots of Indians there, lots of Telugu people are also there, even lots of South Indians. So yeah.
Great. To touch upon the US market, because I keep going to US, my brother and sister-in-law, they are there in US, and yes, Telugu crowd is big time there. So just not the US, but yes, definitely the trend will catch up with other countries as well. When you look at US, the Indian community, they celebrate Indian events at a grandiose scale. When you look at even India, they are at a different scale altogether in terms of the community comes together and do things differently and stuff like that. So in case somebody is doing a event, say Onam or a Telugu New Year or things like that, if the whole gang of say 20 girls or 20 girls and now the 20 boys say because with the kurtas, in case they want to customize something and do that, will Kalanika will be able to do that?
Absolutely. We have the manpower, we have the bandwidth for it. In fact, thank you for bringing that out. Our first order actually happened at a wedding. We both were at the wedding. Kavan and I were at a wedding, and this beautiful woman. She saw us and she said, I like what you're wearing. I have a wedding coming up. I need 10 sarees. Then a customer in US ordered 150 sarees. Not customized, but at least off the shelf, but she ordered 150 sarees. So our Kalanika actually stemmed from a wedding, from an occasion, and cut to today because of our manpower and the kind of number of weavers we have. If 20, 40 people say, we want this, we have the capability to do it. And those are the kind of requests we are looking forward to, where we are able to cater to them and create some magic together.
Awesome. And how many saris you have sold so far across the globe?
I think, wow, easily even a lakh, close to a lakh, if not more, close to a lakh for sure. Again, it would be definitely lesser than your other companies because silks are high price, right? The average order value is high. But yeah, I think so. One mistake we did is 2014 to 18, we didn't keep account. We just, because I said it's a hobby. It's 2018 onwards. My husband is one of the biggest reasons who said, "Where's your spreadsheet? Where is your Excel?" And he's like hardcore finance guy, thankfully. So then we started like, and then it helps because this year I've already seen the number of sarees, and we're close to 1,000 odd sarees in only Kalaneca. We also have Athram, our sister brand. So these numbers help us understand that we have easily sold so many sarees across the world, some of which we don't have come.
Awesome. So it's like 6 lakh yards of sarees. Actually, can cover a few countries with that. So it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Great. And tell us in terms of one, in terms of what is the USP of Kalanika. Second, in terms of 2 years down the line, what will we hear about Kalanika?
Beautiful. The biggest USP of Kalaneca is every Kalaneca sari, and especially our Uppada silk sarees, are lightweight. They can be grand, but they are light in weight because already the weight on our shoulders are very high to bring us up. The second thing is the color combinations. What we create is very stunning in terms of the hues that we use, and it stems from nature and it stems from our travel experiences. We probably go to Bangkok or Turkey, we bring in those colors in. So that's the biggest USP. And of course, we are the only brand in the world that sells only Uppada silk. So you think of an Uppada, you'll come to Kalaneca invariably. 2 years down the line, we want to be beyond a sari company. Kavya and I have, as I've already shared with you, we have been anchors, and Kavya is continuously, I mean, she's one of the top anchors in the country as well. Uh, we believe in the art of self-expression through saris, styling, and through voice. And of course, movements, dance. We want to create Kalanika as a company that helps you self-express. So we're going to start different verticals in the next few years, which will go beyond a sari, but which will cater to self-expression. And that's still on, so I'm not going to give out more details. But yeah, it will be beyond a sari company, but it'll be a company where you'll come because you have the freedom to express, and we're going to create that.
Wow. So when I was listening to your whole conversations, when I was doing research, when you spoke about the fabric of freedom, and now actually you are going to take it to the next level in terms of actually showing in terms of what can be done around that. Amazing. In terms of if somebody wants to know more about Kalanika or reach out to you, what is the best way to do that?
One of the best ways is just slide us a DM on Instagram. We are at Kalanika because our team and even us, we are very active there. So we'll instantly see it. One of the best ways. The other is we have our own WhatsApp channel, our own number as well, which I can share it with you. If anyone wants to reach out to you through the channel, you can definitely share with them because that's when for customizations, especially through WhatsApp, I have a conversation with them. The other is just go to our website, explore what's there. You like something, shop, or just drop us a chat saying, hi, we want to talk more and connect more. So we have all these channels. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Twitter, not much, but Instagram would definitely be today the best channel. We also have our email, which I'll share with you so that I can share with your audience as well.
Thank you, Ramya, for coming on the show and taking us through the amazing journey of Kalanika, weaving stories for the last 10 years and beyond saris for the next generations to come. All the best to Kalanika and the team at Kalanika. It will be amazing to see the journey in the coming years.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vijay. I think it's been absolutely lovely to have this conversation with you. And thank you for bringing the story of Kalanika out through your channel as well.